Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Tom's DIY Garage. I'm the Tom in the name if we have not met before, so it's nice to meet you. Welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. So, of course, as the name suggests, this is all about DIY type stuff. Do it yourself so that you can save money, you can learn a new skill, you can be self-sufficient, all of the above. Again, if this is your first time, I'm going to invite you to go back an episode so that there's an overview of this project. If you've been here before, you know we are about to start a big DIY project. We're going to build an outdoor patio kitchen area. So this is my 3D rendering here. It will kind of be situated like that. It's 14 feet long. This is a spot where a cooler will be. This is a refrigerator. There's a grill here. There's a side burner here, and this is a space for one of those oval ceramic egg grill smoky thingies. Again, a technical term. I'm not going with the name brand. And then there's some drawers and some doors for storage as well. Anyway, I have all that stuff, but what I need to do is frame this in, just like that. So you may recall that I'm doing something new with this, not using wood. I'm framing with steel studs. If you don't know what those are, think of commercial construction. Instead of wood framing, this is steel framing. Most importantly, I'm using it because it's fireproof. Important if we're talking about grills and fire and that sort of thing, but it's rot proof, it's termite proof, all good things, but it is a steep learning curve on this. It's not just cutting, gluing, screwing, nailing, all of that stuff. You got to cut and screw it together in a different sort of way. So I've started by watching a bunch of YouTube videos to see how this is done. This is the stock of steel studs that I have purchased for this project. I got them at one of the big box stores. These are 20 gauge steel, more stout than 25 gauge steel that you would use in an indoor application. A little stiffer, a little thicker steel, but not quite as big or as stout as an 18 gauge steel, which is harder to find and a lot more expensive. The first step in this process is an important one. I'll tell you about it, but I won't show you the process because, well, it's not the most exciting thing. But it's the foundation for the structure here. And I'm probably guilty of a little overkill here, but I'm okay with that because I don't want water contacting the steel framing that's going to be here in the kitchen. And as I looked at a bunch of other people's projects online, a lot of them did the base with some of this stuff. This is called Trex. It's basically plastic deck material here. And it gets the metal framing off the ground, off the surface, just in case there's any water there. This is a covered area, so the chances of standing water being here, pretty minimal here, but I didn't want to take any chances again because as we have talked about, this is a permanent thing. We don't want to have to undo any of this. The Trex material is just under an inch thick, and I have used it to outline where the structure of the outdoor kitchen will be, and basically have a spot where all of the walls, interior and exterior, for supporting the grill, for example, or the ceramic egg grill smoker thingy, again, technical terms. And I have used these concrete screws to lock them into the existing patio, and then I will build upon all of this. Before I start constructing the steel pieces, there's one important thing to think about that I want to bring up for your own projects as well, and that's keeping the whole thing level. The patio here that I'm building this on slopes away from the house, and over the course of 14 feet, the drop is about 1 inch, give or take a little bit. So in order to keep it level, I had two options. Number one would be to level underneath all of these foundation pieces, which would have been a whole lot of work, and I wasn't real comfortable that I could keep it all stable underneath. So option two, the one that I'm going to go with, is custom cut the pieces of metal so that they will be varying heights along the course of this wall here and the other walls, so that I will keep them level along the way. I've got a great trick to do that. This is a laser level. You probably have seen something like this. It projects a laser line along the wall that you're trying to build on. These can be very expensive. They don't have to be. I got this one on Amazon for about 50 bucks. And that unit will send this green laser line 360 degrees around. So I'll use it for this application because I know how tall I want my steel structure to be, while the elevation of the patio floor will change. It will dip down as we go out away from the house. And I'm starting at this particular point because this is where the refrigerator will go. And I know how much space I need in order to slide that unit in. So right here, once I factor in all of the things that I'm going to stack on top and how tall ultimately the concrete countertop will be, we will be at 34 7/8 inches. This is a metal cutting blade, easy to find. It's about $7 at the big box store. We'll use that for cutting the bulk of the metal pieces. For more intricate things, have some tin snips as well. A word to the wise: as you cut metal, that friction, it makes things hot. I've already tried to grab something that I shouldn't have. It burned a hole in my glove, and it burned my fingertip. I'll live. The pieces get connected with metal sheet screws, just like that. And I'm going to build this back wall in two sections because the distance from where it begins right here to the end of the kitchen structure is 11 feet. The maximum length for these top and bottom rail pieces is 10 feet. That math doesn't math very well, so I'll build it in two sections, 6 feet and 5 feet. And then I'll custom cut these metal studs here and fit them into the rail just like that, and then attach them 16 inches uncentered, just like you would with wood construction. Since this is my first time building with metal studs, it took a little time to get the hang of things, but once I did, the process is fairly straightforward, and I'm happy to report that this back wall is level. I also doubled up the ends of these pieces here, especially right there, to make it a little more stout there at the corners. I've also, because it's difficult to get a screw in there against the wall, I've got metal to metal adhesive right there on all of those spots. Also, since I built this wall in place to make sure I had it level, all of the other parts I think that I can build as small little walls, small little building blocks, and then plug them in place as I go. Fingers crossed that that's how it works. And for the most part, it worked exactly like that. This is the platform for the ice chest. This is the space for the refrigerator. The grill will go here. A side burner will go here. Down below, I have to frame in for some drawers, and then a space for the ceramic egg grill smoker thingy. Taken as a whole, it almost looks like I know what I'm doing. I say almost as a cautionary tale, because when you do things yourself, whether the job is a big one, a little one, something in between, there will be complications. Things will go wrong. And part of the process, part of the satisfaction is working that problem and finding the solution. But sometimes you'll also maybe have an accident. You'll hurt yourself. And I'm not talking about the tiny little burn at the tip of my finger, no big deal there. No, I'm talking about something much more substantive. Blood and stitches. What happened, you may ask? I'll tell you. So, as we've noted, when you're building with these metal studs, they have to be screwed together. And we're using these tiny little 1/2-inch sheet metal screws. And these sheet metal screws are designed to be self-drilling. So they got a little sharp edge there at the front end, the business end there, and it will drill itself through the metal, but it's time consuming. So what I found a lot of people did, and I did myself, is I used a drill to drill pilot holes. And that worked well. There are hundreds of these screws in here. Well, there I was drilling a pilot hole when the drill slipped and it hit my finger, and it went through the glove that I was wearing and hit just below the knuckle. It went under the skin and it popped out on the other side of the knuckle. It is as uncomfortable as it sounds. So I have 3 stitches in here, and the finger is really sore right now. So I have to kind of slow down on the construction here just a little bit, because Tom's DIY Garage has a deadline that I have to file this story, and I'm not going to get as far along to show you the completed project for this particular show as I wanted. But let me tell you what I do have in mind for this before I can move on to the next step. Starting with the ceramic egg, there needs to be a platform here so that it can sit on top of that, so that the opening of it is flush with the top of where the countertop will be. I do need to frame in a spot for these drawers. That's a paper towel dispenser and a couple of deep drawers there. I also have to frame in where these doors for underneath the grill will go. Well, trust me, they open. That's a protective cover over the stainless steel. And then frame in where the grill will sit down as well. That is several hours worth of work that maybe might have been done now had I not had to pause everything with a trip to urgent care for stitches. Take a little bit of break here. The finger, it's sore. It's not bending real well right now, not just because there's a bandage on there, but I'm pretty sure the finger will be okay, just uncomfortable getting there. But I will get these things done, and then we can move on to the next step. I'm going to extend some electricity, extend the gas lines to where they have to go, and then I will enclose all of this with cement board, and then we can finish it. So probably some tile, and then of course those concrete countertops as well, before I can put in the equipment. And that's the sound you make when it's all done. This is kind of a documentation of the project. Maybe there are things you can learn along the way. How to frame with metal studs, how to keep your finger out of the way of moving drill bits, all these things. I do them for you. Let me know what you think about the progress, about some suggestions. Facebook, email, Twitter/X, and of course the YouTube as well after they get off the Fox Local app as well, where all of Tom's DIY Garage things will rest, and everything else on Fox 26. So I look forward to hearing from you. I'm gonna pop an ibuprofen or several, and I'll be okay. I'll see you next time. Rock on with your bad selves. Wish me luck as the garage project continues.